Hello, one and all, to our very special VWP Violent Wrestling Podcast. As always, I'm your co-host, Metal Matt, and alongside me are Mox and our very special guest for today, Mr. Adam, the Browns still roll somehow, Rice.
Yay! What up? Hi, everybody.
So, and noticeably missing is the one, the only, everybody's best friend, Ambrose Alley.
We miss her so much.
She needed a vacation from us, so she went to Vegas.
I hope she's winning all of the monies. But we know how likely that is.
Yes. But if you're listening or if you listen back to this, hey, we miss you. Hope you're having fun. Title of this episode, When the Street Dogs Away, what could possibly go wrong? So this is going to be a fun episode. First and foremost, thanks for being here, Rice.
What was that?
I said first and foremost, thanks for being here, Rice.
Oh, no problem. I'm always ready to go in the bullpen should someone need a hand on one of these bad boys.
We're just gonna do our typical Wednesday thing, I think.
So, what do we want to dive into first, gentlemen?
Let's see. Usually, Matt, you want to start with Raw?
Sure, we can go ahead and do that. So the first match on Raw was Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre in a World Cup qualifying match.
A World Cup with very little to no international wrestlers. So, what world are we talking about?
It's basically the U.S. Open.
Is this sort of like how the Super Bowl champs are the world champion kind of thing? Even though they didn't play anybody from anywhere else? Look,
spoiler alert for another match later in Raw and the end of this match, and even SmackDown for that matter. Every single qualifier for the World Cup is American.
Again, I ask.
That just blows. I mean, there's no. The closest you might get is, I think, Rey Mysterio. Oops, again, spoiler alert. Who cares? Has dual citizenship, born in San Diego, but I think he has dual citizenship in Mexico. That's the closest you get.
Well, San Diego really is only about 20 miles from the Mexican border. So,
what are you trying to say, Rice?
I'm just saying. Look, it's stupid. Sorry. The match was pretty decent.
Yeah, the match was good.
But what they're actually fighting for holds no significance whatsoever. TNA did a better job at this World Cup idea than WWE is doing. And that's saying something.
It's just, but to stay on, the match was good. I liked how, the opening was the 2/3 of the Shield, Seth and, Roman interrupt him, but no Dean, and like he'll show up, he'll show up when he wants. He'll show up, when it's time. And during the match, Ziggler tries to interfere, and lo and behold, there's old Dino to the rescue.
This match was really less to serve the World Cup than it was more for the Shield storyline.
Yeah.
And so it hit the mark it was supposed to hit. which is all you could probably hope for in an opening spot like that, and it got the crowd going, which is what you need in an opening match like that.
I wish we could just get either Seth and Drew or Dean and Drew without all the side stories.
Yes.
Just like one-on-one feud. What do you think of it, Matt?
I thought it was pretty good.
And they were. Oh, by the way, before we, they were in Philadelphia, and the crowd reminded Roman that they were in Philadelphia.
Of course they did, because Philly can't help themselves. Once a smart city, always a smart city. I didn't used to be this jaded, people.
Sure. You've been a Browns fan all your life. You had to become jaded early on.
Jaded.
Oh, good grief.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to start this.
Next up was Nia Jax and Ember Moon versus Dana Brooke and Tamina. Tamina just came back to Raw for no reason at all. Why is she on Raw all of a sudden?
Someone joked that Paige made a trade in kayfabe, Big Show for Tamina.
Oh God.
That's probably not what happened. They probably realized everyone forgot Tamina was away, so they used the opportunity for her to switch shows. But in kayfabe, I like that kind of idea.
And kayfabe,
right?
But the shoot answer is, hey, nobody even remembered where the fuck Tamina was last time she was on TV. Put her on Raw.
Exactly.
And it was also during this time that they announced the match, a battle royal, and the winner gets a future title shot. And everybody that's involved, I believe, is Asuka, Naomi, Carmella, the Iconics, Sonya Deville, Nia Jax, Ember Moon, Mandy Rose, Lana, Dana Brooke, Alicia Fox, Tamina, and Tori Wilson.
That was the weirdest damn way they announced it too. Like they started off with everybody like in a group picture, like these, but then literally during the match on a sidebar. Also, there's going to be this woman, and this woman, and like that's the weirdest. And immediately the SmackDown women started tweeting.
Yeah,
like
a lot of people in the match hate this idea, and I don't blame them at all.
They announced it weird. The participants are odd.
Especially Asuka.
Asuka's odd.
And the Iconics, really? Give them a bigger match.
No, sorry. The Iconics fit because they've done jack since they've been on the roster.
Oh, I didn't bring enough popcorn for this argument.
I hope the Browns lose every other game they have this season.
At least you said every other, so that means we still win.
I'm just messing with you, Adam.
Why is Tori Wilson? I get having her come back for the pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
Why is she in a battle royal where the stakes are a title match?
I don't know. I really don't.
Brought to you by the same people that are bringing you the World Cup. That answers that.
And here's the thing, this is par for the course WWE. They have no idea what to do with. Do you guys remember when they announced Evolution and how they said there was going to be 50 women?
Oh yeah.
Well, 15 of them have already been put in a battle royal. They have
And they even started like backpedaling on that 50. Well, maybe not quite 50. We didn't mean it literally like, the 50-man battle royal at GRR. Like, because
Yeah,
they didn't bring it up again. Like,
they
let's
made
yeah,
see.
that and it's also been reported that apparently Ivory and Molly Holly might be there as well.
This is their way to make sure everybody gets a paycheck.
Yeah.
And
Again,
see, there's some gripe. Like I'll call it a heated gripe. Not necessarily like what Matt was saying earlier about who needs to be in a battle royal, but I can't believe first ever women's pay per view and they're gonna put a battle royal. Motherfucker, they do the same thing with the men. There
Yeah.
was a reason there was a 50-man battle royal at GRR.
Yeah,
Get
but the
everybody on the
same.
card, get everybody a paycheck.
Yeah, but at the same time, though, at the same time, you do have to feel for them, because
Oh,
on one hand, while some of them might belong, like imagine that an all women's pay per view, like the first all women's pay per view, has been announced, and you end up learning that you're just in the throwaway battle royal. It
and
has to
I
be
get that.
so demoralizing.
I
I
have
get that.
no problem with how those girls feel.
I get that argument. But they're on the card at least. They're getting the pay per view check and like that. They do the same. It's
But the issue is, for me, is yes, this happens to the men too. But every pay per view, when they don't know what to do with the women, they stick them in a battle royal. And here we are at the first all women's pay per view, where there
well.
should be an 9 match card filled with stakes and interest. And once again, they're throwing the women in a battle royal.
Well, they can't make their pay per view 12 hours long.
I'm not asking them to make the pay per view 12 hours long. I'm asking them to make the pay per view interesting.
Oh well, good luck with that.
This is supposed to mean something, and they have so far treated it like it's a C pay per view. There's been no build. There's been no focus on really any story heading into it, save for Becky
Charlotte
and
and Becky.
Charlotte.
Yeah.
And now we're at the Battle Royal stage of the promotion. What's going to be on the pre show? Is not what I'm wondering. What are they going to throw on the pre show? Because they're going to throw something on there that's going to make you want to bash your head into the wall.
I don't think they're gonna do a pre-show. There might be like a pre-panel, but I don't think they're gonna do any pre-show matches. The best thing they could do if is pre-show matches, put men on that motherfucker. Have men on the pre-show.
Flip it, yeah.
Yeah.
Do something like that. Yeah, I agree with that. Put on the cruiserweights. Here's an idea. You just started a new brand. Throw a couple of the UK wrestlers on there and showcase the UK talent. But again, they won't do that.
No. I think this is gonna be like those Down Under show where there's not a pre-show. Because they're not really treating it like a pay-per-view. It's more one of their network specials. They're hyping it like a pay-per-view, but they're not treating it like one.
You're right. You use the right word, network special. That's exactly what they're doing. And it's infuriating, but what can you do at this point?
Yeah.
The die is cast.
And this goes into a problem here the last couple of weeks that we brought up every Wednesday, 10 Eastern, 9 Central. They're doing too much at once. You have, the Super Showdown, Evolution, Crown Jewel, and they're trying to promote all these things all at one time, and it's just becoming it's a mess.
And let's not forget, here in the next, what, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, we're going to be on the road to WrestleMania.
Yeah. Hell, WrestleMania season started last night. But we'll talk about that when we get to SmackDown.
Right. But it's we're, everything they have back ended this year to the point where they can't breathe. There's no room to work.
Yeah. And there's no a story can't breathe. Nothing can develop. Nothing can. It's just boom, 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 and nothing's allowed to breathe.
And so if nothing's allowed to breathe, you can't promote. If you can't promote, you can't bring eyes to your product. If you can't bring eyes to your product, no one's going to buy your show.
So what
So now
is the effing point?
So what's the point? You've basically just, sorry for the euphemism, everybody, but they basically just shot their load in the back end of the year, and then we'll have zero to show for it come the first of the year.
Yeah.
This whole thing, this battle royal, I feel bad for the girls. I don't know who's going to come out of it because I'm sure there's going to be more women. This could be a way to get Asuka her heat back. They could also run with Naomi and give her the title shot she should have had already. They totally forgot Naomi was supposed to get the title shot.
Was she?
According to her. Remember at the GRR?
Oh yeah.
GRR?
What wasn't it? She won some
It was
trophy?
it was at WrestleMania, but it didn't really mean anything. There wasn't any kind of stipulation to that. Not like this one.
It was after that. It was before Paige was GM. That there was some match she was in, and she like on the side noted that I don't remember if it was number one contenders match or the winner gets however they worded it.
No,
and she won the match.
It was just a battle royal.
Then win it. Do I know?
It was just a battle royal. It was just a WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal.
Not according to her.
No, not the WrestleMania. It was after WrestleMania. It was like early summer that there was just a random SmackDown match that they made, but she never got the shot.
Yeah, she never got the shot. So maybe this would be this way for making up to it. Making up for it. I'm sorry. Maybe
or she just come in, with it being Halloween season, just come in dressed as Charlotte. She'll get a title shot. She'll get a lot of them.
I have a comment, but I'll save it. Or maybe Matt's right. This does maybe put the Iconics in a position to generate some heat.
Like they should be the ones that are feuding with face Becky right now for the top. What's to be happening?
Not in the middle of this story, but we'll get to that.
Oh, believe me, we will get to that. We will get to that.
So, what else happened on Raw? What was next?
Next was the Bella Twins and Ronda segment. I turned the channel for this because I refuse to watch any more Bella Twins segments or matches. I've wasted enough time doing that in 2015. I don't need to do it anymore.
If you're listening with headphones or something, turn your volume down for just a minute because Mox is about to do some Mox things. Oh my God! Rhonda cut such an awesome promo. Oh my God, she went there. Shut the fuck up with that. AJ Lee did that years ago.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's what this feud That's what they're trying to have this feud be. They're trying to have it be AJ Lee and Nikki Bella again, but it's not working.
It's not that they're trying to have it be that. They're both maintaining who they are. It's that Ronda cut a derivative promo that we heard years ago. You guys realize that promo is already about 6 years old?
Yeah, it
Yep.
was 2012.
That promo
We're,
is 6 years old. And
if
here
you
we
don't know what promo we're talking about the AJ Lee saying that the
talent
move up.
isn't sexually transmitted.
Yeah, it's not a sexually transmitted. Yeah,
Which I'm going to say something about here that is going to make some people mad but some people happy. But if you try to make everyone happy, that means you're doing something wrong.
and his Twitter handle is.
You kiss my ass. The worst thing that happened to women's wrestling in the last decade is that AJ Lee promo.
Yeah,
Because now what it has done, it has made everyone think they could use that line of attack. Miz and Maurice didn't have to do that when they were working with John Cena and Nikki Bella.
they did it in a much better way.
It was clever.
Yeah, clever. There you
Was,
go. It was much more clever than her. You've had sex, her.
yeah, sure as hell hope so. I'm sorry. What do you want two consenting, responsible adults to do in a relationship? Play euchre? For those who don't know what euchre is, look it up.
Not that there's anything wrong with that if that's what you guys do, if you're listening.
Right. Right. Right, but it's this line of attack that, oh my god, this girl has had sex with her boyfriend. Who gives a shit? And not only that, I thought we were past this whole thing, but apparently not.
Yeah, it just makes no.
What did that promo bring to this feud?
And I had a question. Who the hell looked at? Hey, let's put Ronda and Nikki, and to some degree Brie, in a fucking way too long promo battle.
They had to
Who
fill
in the
time
back
somehow.
thought that was a good idea?
Well, they wanted to make sure they got Bella rolling her ass in. They had to make sure Ronda had her moment. If the thing with Monday Night Raw is if they aren't cutting a 15-minute promo at the top of the show, you know they're going to shoehorn it in somewhere.
Yeah.
And that's what this was. This is the time they used their time for this promo battle.
And it was top of the hour on the 8 o'clock hour. My time, 8 o'clock hour, the second hour.
So they used the time that would have normally gone to the 15-minute circle jerk for this promo.
And then the security comes out, and it was just an awful mess. And I watched it just so I could be able to talk about it here today, but I'm watching it. Because I already figured Matt would change the channel, and I was like, damn, and I wish I could change the channel, but I knew Matt wasn't watching it and AA wasn't going to be here, so I suffered through.
But again, I ask, if you're going to cut that kind of those promos, there has to be a reason, and there has to be the reason. Cutting those promos, the reason for them is to put an ass in a seat come pay-per-view time. We've heard that promo before. So who's paying for that? Who's plopping down there $9.99 or $50 if you don't have the network? Because they heard that promo and want to see Nikki versus Ronda. Who?
Yeah. Who immediately, exactly.
Who even wants to see it in general?
Oh, damn.
Look, I'm not going to crap on Nikki on the Bellas. They've had enough of it, and Nikki has improved as a worker. But the fact of the matter is, the eyes that are on Total Bellas and Total Divas are not the eyes on the wrestling product, and we know that. The crossover really isn't there. So if they're not bringing eyes from the reality show, and if MMA fans don't want to see Ronda, who is this match for?
They're going to main event. They are.
They're going to main event. Again, over a better storyline that's happening.
The only storyline.
But we'll get to that. This just seems all... This feels like... You know what this feels like? This feels like an MMA feud. Two people are talking, but you're tuning it out because you know what the outcome is likely going to be.
Two people are talking, but they're not saying shit.
Right. No one's saying shit.
And you would expect for all the, the baddest woman on earth. What? Just put that in perspective to the promo. Why would the baddest woman on earth, or the baddest woman on the planet, whatever they call her, fuck a promo, come fight me?
Right. Why is the baddest woman on the planet, with all due respect to Cyborg and others.
I'm just what they're using as her.
Right. Which, by the way, I'm sorry. We're using Ronda's now a Ken Shamrock derivative?
Yeah, and a lot of people won't. But I used that a few weeks ago. Anybody remember when, Ken Shamrock's thing was, the baddest man on the planet?
And he looked it. Ken Shamrock scared the dog doo-doo out of me, but that's another story for another time.
Crazy MFer.
Right. So why should I believe Ronda is a threat to lose her title to a 35-year-old former model type with coming off a broken neck? Why should I buy this? If Ronda doesn't have her tapping in a minute 35 flat, then Ronda's credibility is shot.
I don't know about the 35-year-old being a subject of discontent, but dude, Alexa, and everybody knows I love Alexa. Don't like her booking anymore. But Alexa looked to some degree strong in a match. You don't.
They have already mishandled Ronda, but she's so good already that you can kind of overlook it because when she looks strong, she looks dominant.
Yeah, it's just all this underdog shit to get there.
Yeah, they've hurt this character, and I don't like this promo. Sorry, I'm one of those people who did not like the inherent message behind the promo. I I don't believe Nikki Bella is a challenger. So this is really missing for me.
Yeah,
Sorry.
same here. Sick burn, dude. Next.
Yeah,
Like,
sick. Yeah, you really told her. Yeah, okay, we can move on. What was next, Matt?
Next was Dolph Ziggler versus Dean Ambrose, another World Cup qualifying match. Ziggler ended up winning, and there seemed to be some dissension between Seth and Dean. And then a rematch was made. It was a Shield versus Braun, Drew, and Ziggler again.
Please kill me.
and, and this
How
coming from a
many
lifelong Browns fan, and this is his breaking point.
how many times do we need to have this match?
Every fucking week, and you'll like it.
No, I will not, sir.
You'll
It
ask for
is
another.
it is like pulling teeth
I
every
want.
week.
I call Ziggler going over. The biggest point of this match was, of course, like hell. Because as soon as the show starts, like, okay, this is gonna happen. This is gonna happen. Like, okay, now Seth's gonna try to save Dean. Something's gonna happen. But Drew came out and tried to interfere to help Ziggler. Here comes Seth. Like literally, they left by the time they both met at the ring, like you guys like were literally standing side by side in Gorilla because they met at the same time at the ring. But anyway, Seth fights off Drew for a little bit. Dean does Dean stuff, and then gets, I forget what move happened on the outside, and Ziggler got back in the ring, and Seth was trying to help Dean up, and supposedly Dean didn't know it was Seth helping him up, thought it was Drew still attacking him, and just pushed him down. Got back in the ring, got super kicked, and lost.
Again, a match to serve the Shield storyline. There was nothing else being told.
My biggest gripe about this shit is you have the tag team champions and the IC champion and technically the Universal champion all in the same damn storyline. Nobody's defending shit.
They've essentially hijacked the entire show. Because the titles, every men's title is held up on Raw in this story.
And it's heaven forbid, even though it's would be a rehash in itself, like put Dolph and Drew against Dean and Seth for the title, like something. Put Seth versus Drew, put them. Oh, it's just agonizing.
Again, and Roman has to come in and play Peacemaker. And I'm just left wondering. No, I'm not. I'm left knowing that this is what WWE wants out of its show, and it's demoralizing. Next week on Raw, we're still going to get some derivative of this. Probably.
Oh yeah, guaranteed. I'll guarantee it right now. But no titles are gonna be on the line. But some derivative of Dogs of War versus the Hounds is gonna happen next week.
It's enough to make you want to drink cyanide, folks. And I lived through an 0-16 season. If I haven't drank cyanide yet, what will drive me to it? It's bad. It's bad, and I almost feel like it's intentionally bad.
The saddest part is that when they reunited the Shield initially, and then the injuries, and then you have Kurt Angle taking places and Triple H taking places at house shows. That was bad enough. Now they're all together. You've ruined it. You've ruined it.
They I can't believe I'm going to say this. They killed the Shield.
In an instant, before it even got its legs up under it again. Here's the Shield. Oh, by the way, there's some discontent in the Shield. Like, what the? Oh, so aggravating. And I say that as somebody that loves the Shield, like all three members, together and individually. They've just taken me out of.
Dean comes back from his injury, and they immediately go into a breakup storyline. Immediately. What sense does that make?
None.
Whatever. Matt, what are your thoughts?
I think they're doing what they were going to be doing. Like, if he had never gotten injured back in the I feel this is where they were going to go. With that said, though, I think this was the wrong time to reunite the Shield because it doesn't quite work, and I'm not a fan of pretty much all of the titles on Raw being in this holding pattern. Like, all the titles are in limbo now because of this storyline. And if you want to do this storyline, fine, go for it. But somebody else, like, have Revival be the tag team champions. Have someone else be Intercontinental, like have Elias be Intercontinental champion, or Lashley, or Bauer, or somebody like that. Maybe have Roman be Universal champion. But that's like the only champion that should be involved in this storyline. I don't know. For me, this storyline is just so boring. It really is just so boring because we are seeing the same matches week after week after week.
It literally feels like somebody, when they reunited the Shield and they came down, Sierra Hotel, India, Echo, Lima, Delta, and they came down together. Somebody, and Dean was out for 9 months. Somebody hit fast forward on their TV to 9 months from now. Oh, they're going to break up? Oh. With nothing in the middle. Just like, yes, this is probably where it was going to go. But there's almost a year gap in there of not like this. Like, if they would have stayed together this whole time, like, okay, now there's some dissent. Now there's some. But it's like, Shield's back together. Ambrose is hurt. Ambrose is out. Shield's back together. Breakup. Like, what the fuck?
And it happened at breakneck speed.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's like somebody that watched the like a casual viewer or something. Watch the Shield get back together, has no idea about Dean getting hurt. None of that. And just started watching again. And like, you would think like they'd been together this whole time. Like, that's just a common sense. Like, okay, so they've been back together for almost a year, and now there's some wrinkles in the crew.
Okay.
It would be different if this wasn't a reoccurrence on Raw, for what feels like forever. Repeat matches in the main event have been happening for the better part of for a year now.
Forever.
I mean, before this, what was it? How many matches did uh, Roman and KO have? And Roman and oh god, insert person here. You know, their main event scene is derivative, and not because there are not enough people, but because
Yeah.
they choose to make it derivative.
Yeah. The talent's there. The people are there. And this isn't a bash on Roman at all. It's just that they're choosing to. That's why I call Raw Rehash City.
If you missed, if you missed last week, don't worry, it's going to happen again this week.
They literally said that. Well, not that literal, but about the main event being the Dogs of War against the Shield. A rematch from last week. Like, motherfucker. Like, we just went through this last week. And the one positive I had coming with Seth and Dean and Dolph and Drew being in singles matches for this grand old World Cup was like, okay, at least we're not getting this 6-man tag team again. Motherfucker. We don't get that again.
It's just painful. But Matt, what happened next?
Next up was Finn Balor versus Jinder Mahal. Again.
Tell me. Why are we...
Both the Singh brothers are back. That's the biggest news that came out of this match.
Which is good. It gives Jinder's his lackeys back. It gives
Question: Did I miss something? When the hell did Alicia Fox? Why was she in Jinder's corner?
They're teaming together on Mixed Match Challenge.
Well, yeah, but when did that become? I guess yeah.
Since the start of the Mixed Match Challenge. There's no
But
history.
it took me a minute, like, who the hell? And then, like, oh, that's Alicia Fox. But, like, this year.
Could you?
No, I couldn't. This year, they're really integrating the Mixed Match Challenge into storyline stuff. Like Balor coming out with Bailey. Like, last time, it wasn't canon, like, at all.
Yeah, they've made sure to make it a part of the show this year, which I'm fine with, as long as it truly doesn't bleed into storylines. Even though that happened last year, so what the hell am I saying?
Once they said Asuka's streak is on the line, you knew Miz and Asuka were going to win.
I will say this. I like Bailey and Balor together.
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely. That goes back into
NXT.
Yeah, as much I loved them.
I mean, they play off each other pretty well.
This is one of those things that I know, like in real life, like, but man, I shipped the hell out of that relationship. Bailey and Balor.
They do work well together, and they do.
Yes.
I'm sorry, they do look good together. Sorry, Mr. Solo. Bailey's fiance.
Yeah, like
it's just a fact.
I know it's not a shoot or anything, but damn.
I've been saying, but damn about Bailey for a few weeks now. But that's neither here nor there.
Thankfully, I'm not gonna say anything else except for me, you, and AA on that Hangouts a couple months ago. Thankfully, that was not live.
But if they work well together, Balor and Jinder as a match, we've seen it. At least this time Balor didn't get concussed.
Right?
But I mean, outside of just a good little match in the middle of the show to keep things moving, I don't really think much came out of this.
It was just a filler match.
Yep.
Like I say, the biggest news out of this match is that both Singh brothers are back.
Which might mean Jinder might be doing something here soon, but who knows? Matt, what was next? Unless you had a comment about Baylor and Bailey in this
Uh,
match.
nah, I'm good. I really don't care about the mixed match challenge as a whole. To be honest, I don't know. For me, it just doesn't really interest me all that much.
The mixed match challenge for me is like um it's kind of like, and I know this is a weird comparison, but it's kind of like the Pro Bowl. Means nothing, but it's a good little bit of entertainment. And you're seeing a lot of personalities. I mean, who would
That
have?
is one thing I'll grant them is they show a lot more personality during the MMC than they're usually given.
And that's
Like
all of
that,
them. I
yeah.
mean, Charlotte shows personality when a
That's
lot
what
of people.
when I that's what I was saying. Like they all like there's more personality last season and this season. Like more personality is like more themselves are coming through.
Charlotte shows a lot of personality when a lot of people think she's nothing more than
Oh,
a robot.
sorry.
You're a dick. Yeah. um, of course, Bailey and Balor. Whoever Carmella is teaming with at the moment is always fun because she's funny. And she knows what it means to work a crowd.
She, dude, she's and this isn't just like, hey, Matt Des Moines, if you're listening, like, dude, I already liked her, but she really has the chops for this.
I
She's
st-
really good at this pro wrestling thing.
yeah, I mean, she's still not perfect in the ring,
Oh no, no, no.
but and which is why I always said she's a better manager than a wrestler. That's the role she should have. But she has shown that she understands pro wrestling.
She gets it.
She understands entertainment and how to draw eyes to you and be the focus of attention. And I don't think anyone realized that until last year's Mixed Match Challenge. Because her and Big E were hysterical. And this year with our truth and how it's bled over into television is
Yeah,
been great. But as far as this match that we were talking about goes, not a lot to talk about. Mixed Match Challenge, though, has been fun. But we can move on, Matt.
Well, next up was Bobby Lashley versus Tyra Breeze.
Thank God for Leo Rush.
right.
He has managed to make Bobby Lashley interesting. I don't know how. I don't know what genie he had to find.
In my opinion, he hasn't even made Lashley that interesting. He's just made like I don't want to turn my TV off with Lashley out there. Like I want to hear what Leo has to say. If that makes sense. Like I just want to hear the shit talk from Leo Rush during a
Yes,
Lashley match. I still don't give a shit about Lashley. Like I like Lashley, but he's been so boring since he's come back.
Bobby Lashley is vanilla ice cream. Not even vanilla bean ice cream. Just plain soft serve out of the McDonald's machine if it's working ice cream.
That is so. I want to make a joke, but I won't because it might be misconstrued.
Don't do that. Don't go down
Yeah,
that road.
you know where I'm going. You and I have known each other long enough.
I do. You're a horrible person. Uh, it, but Leo is making this work. it's a credit to Bobby. Now, Bobby has to go get it done in the ring, and I don't think that's a problem. But Leo has brought interest in this, where there was none whatsoever.
And Corey Graves playing off of Leo Rush is so good. Like, can we get somebody to mute Leo Rush? Can we? Like, Corey Graves is just great at that.
Yep, they can talk.
Yeah,
and it works.
And that's what, because usually Corey's a heel, except when he's not, like on commentary. And Leo and Bobby are supposed to be heels. He's supposed to be the heel commentator, but he's the one saying, "Can we shut Leo up, please? My ears bleed whenever Leo talks. Like, it's just so good."
Yep.
There's nothing to this match. I mean, you put Bobby Lashley and Tyler Breeze.
Glorified squash match.
Yeah.
We can move on.
So next was the Alexa, Mickey, Trish, and Lita segment.
Practice? You talking about practice?
Someone brought this up on Twitter. And it made me think. Was Alexa Bliss born when AI did that? Was Alexa?
Was she born?
What
was the question?
And I know she was, people, but it made me chuckle. But was Alexa Bliss even born when Allen Iverson did practice?
Yeah.
And she was. She's about my age, people. So, yes, she was alive. But
she's old as shit, too?
You can eat me.
Whoa. That's for the after show, sir.
I stand by it. I mean, but Alexa.
That's like twice in, 3 weeks where Alexa, her math doesn't add up. Well, this time it did, but that joke makes it seem like I was 9 years old. Like, bitch, you weren't born.
Right. It's like you were born. This week, they're cutting a promo. I don't even think Alexa Bliss knows who Allen Iverson is. I'm dead serious. So, why even bring that up as a reference?
This was as much as I love Lita, and Mickey, and Trish, and
Alexa.
Well, I was gonna just name one, but damn.
Yeah, if you didn't mention them all, there would be something wrong with you.
This was strictly to get the practice reference in.
Hey guys, do you remember when Allen Iverson said something wacky? Yes, WWE, we do.
They're always so cutting edge with
15-year-old interviews.
I mean, they could have, because it was the anniversary of Dennis Green's. They are who we thought they were.
I wish someone would use that.
That would have been a better. Yeah, I get it was in Philly and AI,
Right.
But it was literally the anniversary of Dennis Green's meltdown of, and we let him off the hook. Like, it would have been a much more clever way of, if you're going to use a sports reference.
And also, I just got to say, if we're going to get more dates out of Trish and Lita, they got to be used better than this.
Please.
And also, I do have a problem from a booking standpoint, already letting these ladies get physical. That could have been saved for the pay-per-view.
Yeah, I think so as well. It really does seem like a waste of them.
I know Trish and Lita are coming back. I know Trish and Lita are going to be in a tag match. That excites me. Let me have that excitement for when they step back into the ring to compete. Instead, they've done this. So now, so let me set the scene. They've already run down Mickey and Alexa. Mickey has already eaten a chick. Has already eaten a chick kick. So she's already eaten Trish's finisher, and she was about to eat a moonsault. What's now there left for the fans? So it's they've. I mean, they haven't given everything away, but they've given a lot away already. What did you think
So,
overall, Matt? What did you think of this segment?
It was where it was. I guess I'm not too terribly interested in this whole angle, really.
Where are you coming out on it, Mox?
are we still on?
Trish and Lita.
Yeah. Um, I missed the last half or the last half of what you were saying about if they're gonna stick together, what you want to do. It was kind of what you think it would be. Like if you saw the segment card or something, like it was just the only thing different was the practice thing. Practice? We're talking about practice, not the pay per view. Like it was just did what it did,
Again,
I guess.
they had to get in the 15-year-old reference.
Cutting
But
edge.
yep, cutting edge. So after this mess, Matt, what happened?
Next up was AOP versus the Conquistador. Seemed like it was supposed to be Kurt Angle, but it wasn't. And Kurt
That fooled
Angle slams
nobody.
Corbin onto the stage.
Why are they having people think Kurt Angle was running around in what looks to be a full body condom?
Uh,
That's what it looks
after
like.
after what we've discussed the last hour, and we're gonna question what they think. I don't want to
Okay,
get
thank
into
you.
the.
It, go ahead, Max.
You could tell like right away that wasn't Kurt. Like that was my only takeaway of this whole. What
They've. Let me ask you: do you even care about this Baron Corbin thing?
the what
No.
now?
Do you even care about this Baron Corbin Kurt Angle storyline that they're doing?
Not at the moment. I know what they're leading or where they're going is Team Angle versus Team Corbin at Survivor Series, but at the moment it's just falling flat for me.
Which would be cool if we could actually get Team Angle back. Let's get Shelton and Charlie back and let's do it. But
Let's
we're
do
not going to.
this.
But we're not going to get that. Um, I'd be more excited about this if Kurt Angle didn't already come back to wrestle. I know he wants to come back at full time or close to it, which God please no, Kurt. Uh, protect your neck. But they've. But this is all stupid. It's stupid and convoluted.
Yeah, it's just, and this is what ties into from earlier. They're telling a Survivor Series story while they're also promoting pay per views, network specials, whatever you want to call them, before Like they've got too much going on, and they're trying to tell this story that's isn't working for if you want subscribers, and it's not working. Again, I'm going to use the term. It's falling flat for me.
It is. Yeah, it's. We all know what it's leading, and we all know what the end result will likely be. Let's move on. After the Conquistador, what happened?
Next up was Ruby Riott versus Natalia, and Sasha Banks came back.
Yay.
But Tamina was supposed to be the big comeback of the night.
Yeah, no. Good for Tamina, but I want to see the person who can actually work come back. Yay. I mean, Natty, Bailey and Sasha all came out together. Sasha was in her, but I think that was her Wonder Woman gear.
Yes.
Yay. The Riot Squad still looks good. Correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't there that little beatdown segment in the match for the Riot Squad? When they went after Sasha and Bailey. Liv Morgan was putting in work, and it looked good. Just sweet and wildly throwing hands. That's what I like to see. If you're going to have this girl group who's just to be causing chaos, when it's time to go in there and throw hands, they threw hands, and they got the upper hand. That makes them look good and gives them an edge, especially when it was happening against Bailey and Sasha. That gives them a little check mark, and you move on.
If somebody surely if on Wrestling Gods anywhere that could maybe hear my voice, the Riot Squad, you have something there. Maybe not as a squad per se. There you have individual talent, willing, like there's
you can see it. You can see it. You can feel what's happening.
Ruby for sure, like without beyond a shadow of a doubt. Ruby is a star just waiting to be shown. Sarah is a character that would play very well in a solo act. Liv has gone from Carmella 2.0 to hey, she's not Carmella 2.0. She can be different. She can do this and that. But Ruby is a star that needs to be shown sooner rather than later.
If Ruby Riott does not win the Women's Championship in the year 2019, this company has failed. It has failed Ruby. It has failed the fans. Because
what about Ronda? Come on, Rice. We have Ronda.
Listen to the sound and vowels in pronunciation in my voice. Mm-hmm. Fuck Ronda. She's only going to be around a little while. Ruby is your star. She can hold that division down. Liv Morgan has a place on the card. I remember when they brought the Riot Squad up, And everyone said, well, they had to do something with Liv because it was shit or get off the pot. They
And
had
she
2
she took
years.
that ball. She didn't go home with it. She's running with it.
She's, I mean, her work isn't 100 is not the best, but
Well, yeah,
what she's doing in the character work,
that's what. Yeah,
it's enough. It is enough
I,
to put you somewhere on the card.
and more than like oh, she's got a blue tongue. How awesome! Or
Right.
she's attractive. How cute! Like no, uh, and I'm one of those people like in ring work matters. Character work is to me a little more like there's a level I guess everybody has. The character is more than to a degree more than in ring stuff. Like
Right.
as long as you're not knocking people the fuck out in the ring, like you're good.
It In ring work can help you. Character work gets you there in the first place.
And my one go to is Lana has a character. Lana still sucks in the ring.
Yeah.
Like there's no like as good of a character as she is, her work in the ring is so bad it just detracts from
The
character.
great thing with Liv as opposed to Lana, and I hate to say that to act like this matters, but recently Liv was on Up Up Down Down, and she said in the episode, since the age of 5, she knew what she wanted to do, and it was to be a professional wrestler. So this is it for her. And even though she was having some rough time in the NXT, they kept throwing her fastballs. They put her with 2 people who understand the business. The best thing that ever happened to Liv Morgan is that they put her with Sarah Logan and Ruby Riott.
Yeah. If there was
Heidi,
ever a
Heidi
sink or swim
Lovelace,
moment, it was there. Like either
right? They put her with Heidi Lovelace and Crazy Mary Dobson, 2 veteran workers who made their bones and can help her. They are, and the other great thing, and I think this is the reason why they've also improved. They're friends in real life. They're
yeah.
tight. They're tight knit, and it comes across on television,
Yeah.
which adds to the character work. And as far as Sarah Logan, there's an awesome character there. They just don't want her to speak because Vince hates that accent, and that's what it is. If Sarah Logan did not sound like she came out of the backwoods of Kentucky, which she does, they would have already found a different role for her. But because she has that southern accent, and everyone still talks about that game meat promo or segment, that it hurt the character. And she's still trying to figure out how to work with her. I'm going to try to
It's
be nice here.
it's I know what you're saying. It's slowly but surely getting there after that. Like it's
But is there any doubt that Sarah Logan could work as a hoss on the WWE's women's division?
absolutely not.
She
Like
can.
she could.
She is a hoss brawler type character that the division needs because
Yes.
Tamina is older. and on bad knees. And Nia Jax's work isn't great. Sarah could fill a role of being that big bruiser type. But until then, I'm liking these three as a package. And you know what I wouldn't hate? I wouldn't hate if they come out with the women's tag titles, put it on, put the tag titles on Sarah and Liv, and then sometime in 2019, let Ruby have a run with the belt and let them be that dominant faction in the division. Because that's sometimes what you need is that faction when you have a stable. They the allure of seeing them with all the belts is could be something that takes them to that next step.
Yes, and see that. And there lies the problem with what's currently going on with the Shield and Dogs of War storyline. Is one quote unquote faction has a tag, and then the other faction has two singles. That doesn't quite work as well as if just one had the main championship, the other two, like they did. Well, it wasn't the WWE, but close enough. When the Shield, years ago, had the tag in the United States Championship, like that worked.
It worked. Well, kinda. The issue was Dean never defended the title.
Well, I mean, there was that, but it's like showing dominance without fucking everything up in the rest of the division.
Right.
With
because
all
they
belts
have all the
included.
belts doesn't mean they all have to be integrated into the same storyline.
Yeah, that's where you're messing up with that is
play over there and Ruby can go play somewhere else. But
yeah.
I like the Riot Squad. I like Ruby Riot. I liked this match.
This is the longest we've ever talked about a Raw recap.
Well, because they have saw fit to be dumb. And when they're dumb, you need to call them on it. But since you brought that up, Matt, what happened next? If he's there.
I was about to say, do we still have Matt?
No, my mic was on mute. Apparently it's acting weird, so I don't know what's going on.
What happened after our the Riot Squad Ruby Natalia match then?
After that, an Apollo and Elias segment.
We can skip that.
Yeah, and the main event was Shield beating, Braun, Dolphin, Drew, and it seems like McIntyre might be turning face, maybe, because he ends up kicking Strowman at the end of the match.
Well, before we get there, I have to just contractual agreements and stuff. I'll walk with Elias, damn it.
You can walk with him all you like, but we're talking about a different match.
Well, because you skipped it.
What did you want to talk about from Elias and Apollo Crews?
Oh, nothing about the just because Morris always asks me every time, why does he do that when he, everybody cheers and then he just shits all over the city? Why does he always do that? Like that's
because people are easily deceived.
And you want to talk about like actual relevant sports references to Philly?
He knows it.
He went there.
He enjoys it.
But yeah, we can go to the 6-man now. I just two contractual things I have on the podcast is I always have to endorse Burger King and I always have to walk with Elias, so we're good.
Well, I hope no one is on their Twitter if they haven't seen the Mae Young Classic because WWE is giving away some of their stuff.
Oh,
but
are you saying that Drew was turning face here? Because that's not how I saw it. Matt.
I don't think Drew is turning face. I think he's just ready to distance himself from Braun and Drew and Dolph.
Yeah,
And
this I don't see that this is a turn at all. I see this as
a heel establishing himself.
yeah. Both can still be heels, but okay, we don't need you anymore. You can still go do whatever the hell you want to do, but I if nothing else, please, for the love of God, don't give us face Drew McIntyre.
No, too soon, and it would kill him.
I agree because I Bear's a heel anyway, and I see that someone has joined us here.
Oh, who we got? Oh, are you still?
Oh,
No,
sweet
not the
mother-
$1 million man.
Angel.
Not the $1 million man, but it is the diva
It is
of
the
the podcast world.
it is the $1,643 man.
Yeah. Pretty much.
What's up, Angel?
How are you? How's it going?
Well, good. We were just discussing the Raw main event from this past week. It was again
Oh.
a 6-man between the Shield and the Dogs of War.
Well, I'm glad they thought of something original.
There's Fashion Week late, and then there's when Wing shows up to a podcast late.
Fashion has nothing to do with it.
What's up, man?
Not much. Just, it's only 7:30 out here, so I just got home from my post-work happy hour.
Yes,
Only
and that's one thing we didn't address at the beginning. We're an hour earlier than normal. But
because for reasons, namely me. Angel,
Is that AA on
no, that's
mute?
me as VWP on mute.
Oh, okay. I was like, isn't she in Vegas?
Yeah. She might stop by in a little bit. Depends on what happens tonight. But that's
depends on if she doesn't hit the jackpot.
yeah.
Or she needs to interfere with our disturbance.
Right.
There's a disturbance in the force. His wings. But on to the main. We're still talking about Raw, and I just brought up this is the longest we've talked about Raw. The main event, I don't think that was a heel turn or a face turn by Drew. I just think it was oh, you're fed up with us. Well, fuck you too. It's just a split. Please don't put them back together. Just let Braun do Braun things, and let
Dolph and Drew go somewhere else, and let them actually defend the tag titles.
For the love of God, in the matter of 3
What a novel idea.
In the matter of 3 weeks, we went through, the tag division is looking strong on Raw to what the fuck?
Angel, if you're able and want to, what are your overall thoughts on Raw in this match? If you have any thoughts.
I don't have. I mean, I didn't watch it, so
fine, works for me. This, like we said at the beginning, everyone.
I'm kind of suffocated as the Pacific time zone, where it starts at 8:00 here, and everyone's already talked about everything. And by the time, I could avoid spoilers, but I'm not that patient. So
I hope you don't mind, but I will quote Wing. I don't watch that shit.
We can, like we said at the beginning, folks, it's derivative, it's derived. At least Drew did what he did, so which means we may get something new going on next week. I doubt it.
My only thoughts on. I do have thoughts on what happened. I can't because I didn't watch it. I don't have
Any thoughts on Raw in general?
Commentary, but
Yeah, speak on it.
I do think that it just, I don't know. They like to, put heels against each other and then put them back together. We've seen it for years now. It is what it is. But I think it just at least gave a little crack in the armor for Drew that hopefully he'll soon break off on his own, which is what is absolutely needed. Because if they don't capitalize on his amazing talent at the very moment where, I mean, he was top dog in NXT, and now people are seeing right now that he is main event talent. So it would be the perfect time for them to move ahead.
You're about to erase him going from the Chosen One in his first run to his Drew Galloway run, what he came back as his NXT. If you don't do it right, you're going to fuck all that up.
Yep.
Yeah. That's how WWE fans go and how management goes. So
since we pretty much discussed Raw, let's move over to the historic episode of SmackDown 1000.
Not know Stephanie McMahon was going to join us.
First of all,
historical history.
First segment.
You didn't book Stephanie McMahon for the show? I'm out. I just.
Well,
I'm so tired of hearing the word history and historic and.
You're right. They have. First of all, I do want to point out, and everyone brought it up on Twitter, but I need to say it too. The fact Vince McMahon came out on this show only to dance with R-Truth is the greatest thing ever. It was a stupid segment, but Vince and his kids coming out just so they could dance with R-Truth and Carmella is just peak McMahon.
That's what people forget about Vince because, Vince is the devil and Vince is, the worst person, to ever live. Vince will do the dumbest, self-embarrassing shit to make the fans happy. He's been doing it for more than 2 decades.
Vince has never been one who thinks he's above making an ass out of himself.
Exactly. Like he reminds me of those bosses that a lot of people wish we had of, I'm not asking you or telling you to do anything that I wouldn't do myself.
And he said that, and that's exactly like what he said with Mick Foley after that famous 1998 cage match, Hell in a Cell match. Like, I appreciate what you did, but I don't ever want to see you do that again. It's, he would do any of those things.
Someone, friend of ours, Tony Rogers, put on Twitter the idea that Vince can't both be this maniacal egomaniac driven only by power, wealth, and greed, and this horrible boss who just stymies any ideas that come out of creative. And the guy who everybody who's ever come out of that company, save for a handful of people, say how great of a boss he was and how he wouldn't do something he wouldn't do himself, even how he was not afraid to work with you or something like that. It can't be both. He can't be the devil and Michael Scott from The Office. He can't be both. So it was fun to see Vince, even though we are in this middle of this crown jewel stuff. It was still fun to see Vince. It was fun to see Shane. It was fun to see. Well, it was less fun to see Stephanie because she's been on my TV nonstop for the last 20 years. But
And I agree with you. Like when her music hit, I was but then like, oh, she was the first general manager of SmackDown. So in that aspect it made sense, but
you know what was weird? And I probably understand why. Why no Paul?
yeah, I was hope I
He was
thought
the
they were
best
gonna do
general manager of SmackDown, I think.
I agree with
I
That's
thought
that.
when
that they were
SmackDown
leading
was
for a
its
split second.
best.
I
What was
thought it
that?
was leading towards like all the GMs showing up, like the past GMs.
And then it didn't happen.
Yeah, but I for a split second thought that that's where they were because we knew Vicky was in town and Teddy was in town. Like, okay, they're gonna have a GM reunion, and then Shane's music hit, and I was like, okay, well, the current commissioner and a SmackDown alum, like, okay, maybe there's still a chance we get a. And then once Vince's music hit, and you can tell that because Shane was still talking while when Vince's music hit, like he wasn't like on the headset, like okay, play the music now because his music hit too early because he was about to walk out the curtain.
You gotta love those miscues. And again, our Truth TV, Carmella and Truth, funny. They understand entertainment. And they got. And here's the other thing, folks. They got a segment with the McMahons. That's a big deal.
Yes, and the
Even if
best we've been on here for years, and Carmelo like we had one show and then it got immediately canceled.
but we can move on from the open. Matt, what happened next?
Next up was the Usos versus Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles, and some miscommunication with Styles and Bryan led to the Usos winning.
First off, holy dream match I didn't know I wanted. The two best wrestlers, uh, what, of the last 10 years? Against one of the hottest tag teams going? Yeah, that's a dream match.
First off, them coming back from commercial and Daniel and AJ already being in the ring.
Yeah, holy cold open there. But
Like
hey,
they got straight jobber entrances.
yep. But you know what? They don't need entrances. When you see
Well, I
AJ,
know, but still, it would have been like
kind of,
yes, I agree. Like oh, dream match kind of, but at the like that should have been something maybe later in the card of the Usos making a challenge or something like and either have just an open thing or maybe AJ or Daniel Bryan either or I'll see if I can find a partner. But nope, they just straight up Usos make their entrance, go to commercial, come back, and oh by the way, we have the Usos versus AJ and Daniel Bryan. Like, damn, no, that was quick.
do you guys think they're setting up for Bryan versus AJ for the title?
They already did.
It's happening at Ground Jewel.
Okay, so this.
Yeah.
So it's happening at a thing that doesn't matter. I would kind of like to see that happen in a pay per view that matters, but that's beside the point. Fun match.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
really fun match.
and tell you what, it surprised a lot of people to see the Usos get the win there. That is a match where you expect Bryan and Styles to walk away from as the winners.
Yeah,
But
but
they're
now
getting them.
you put the thought in people's heads of since they are about to face each other, like they can't work as a team. They're focused on their singles goal. It was a fun match. It was a really fun match.
Angel, did you see any of it? And I'm going to take this now.
I repeat, I do not watch this shit.
After this one, what happened to Matt?
Sorry, no, I did not see it.
Well, we got an Evolution reunion, and it seemed like they were starting to tease Triple H and Batista one more time. Which does anybody want to see that match? Like honestly, does anybody want to see that match again?
I'm going to tell you right now. Based on the social media reaction, yes.
There's a lot of people that want to see it.
I don't. I don't. Man, and I feel like for the most part it's just nostalgia for nostalgia's sake. Like, okay, I saw Batista and Triple H battle a lot in 2005. You know, why not see that again? But for me, it's like I don't know. Like, could it be a good match? Maybe, but at the same time, who does it really benefit? You know, like who does it benefit? Because nobody.
Anybody else on the current roster that might face Triple H at WrestleMania? Like.
Yeah, but like, not a guy is going to get a rub from this. Like, if it was Batista facing off against somebody new, then I'd be fine with it. But I don't need to see Triple H and Batista again. If I want to see that,
I really like
again,
it.
I'll just put on Vengeance 2005.
I really like it. If you're gonna do something with Triple H and with another part timer, I think this is way more, exciting to me than the Undertaker deal.
Yeah, like at least this, like you have two stones, put them in one pool, and get that shit over with. At the very least, like don't put Batista versus a current roster, and damn sure don't put Triple, like two stones.
And this also gives Batista the run he might want.
Yeah, because Batista's been winning this particular match. Like he said in the past, that the only thing he wants to do now in WWE is have one final match against Triple H at WrestleMania, which I don't really want, but no, it is what it is, I suppose.
I will say one of the best parts of this whole segment is Randy Orton in the background. Acting like
I laughed and I pointed it out. Like that was the best part of that entire segment was Randy in the background behind Triple H and his
just egging it on.
Please, that somewhere on Twitter, like somebody's because that is fantastic. Like that.
And then, Batista. Making that joke about, and then he starts swinging the mic. It was a second. It wasn't as sophomoric as a DX segment, but it hit the notes that it needed to hit.
It actually exceeded my expectations of what I thought the segment would be. Wasn't quite certain if they were setting up, when we find out Evolution. Not to be confused with the Women's Evolution pay-per-view that's coming up in 2 weeks. But, like, okay, we are getting Batista versus Triple H in the future. I thought that's where they were going. But the Randy Orton behind Triple H shit was fantastic. Randy Orton saying, and Batista's been over here, he's spent more time in a Hollywood chair than great. But Randy Orton behind Triple H, I don't know if that was meant to be caught on camera, but his reactions were fantastic.
And it did kind of remind me a little of the old Evolution segments, which was perfect. Don't need another Triple H run though, folks. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry. I hate to be the guy to say it. Rick still hasn't recovered from that health scare. He
Yeah,
just
I was trying to word that well because that was going to be my next point. Like, I just to be blunt, Rick doesn't look well at all.
he just looks like he's been through hell, and he has. But he just doesn't stop going out on the road. Rick. When they come through Charlotte or Atlanta, wherever you live now, then come to the show. Don't make special trips. Um, but anyway, this was fun. But what happened on the other side of this segment, Matt?
Well, after this was a very quick match between Miz and Rusev, with Miz winning because, of course, he had to. I'm not really complaining about this being short. The less of the Miz I have to see, the better.
The best part of this match actually wasn't in the match. It was when Miz ran around the side of the ring and jumped up to high five Aiden English. And then he kept running. Short match, but the end of the match was the must see part. Get it? Must see.
I'll be that guy. I'll say it. Best part match is hey Lana.
You had to say it, didn't you? But yeah, short match. We can move on, Matt, even though Miz is setting himself up for another title run here soon, but I'm sure you want to talk about that later.
Good God, I don't want that. I really don't want that.
That's gonna be a 3 hour special when it happens. We're 3 hours just me, you, and AA talking about the Miz.
As WWE
Yeah,
champion.
if that happens, then yeah, the W title will officially be a mid card title now. The Miz will bring it down so freaking hard.
Your hatred clouds your judgment. But we can move on.
I mean, it's just a misconception of the Miz, I think. Like everybody wants him to have this main event run, and I think people just kind of underestimate him or overrate him. Like Miz is fine as a mid card talent. He is fine as a main event talent. He's not good. He is not good.
Hey, say what you want, but I don't see anybody else getting not only getting those crowd reactions, but controlling the crowd. He's doing it.
Miz is on SmackDown anyway, so he's not going to main event a pay-per-view.
That's true.
Hey, I wish I can go to bed early if he does.
Oh,
but we can move on. This was a short one. So after
not coming to Matt's defense, but for no other reason than what we talked about during the. Like, I really wanted Rusev to go over here just to, and whatever.
You wanted Rusev to go over so we could actually have some international flair to the World Cup?
You think? Next.
Yep.
Next up was the Cutting Edge with Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. I'll let you guys go first. I'll let you guys go first because
no. We have
been so quiet.
no. We have a rule on VWP. Becky Lynch segments. Matt goes first, and that is a hard rule. So Matt, what are your thoughts?
I don't know if you guys are prepared for this.
Let's hear it.
Come on.
Okay. I'm tired of saying this every week, but until you do the right thing, I'm going to keep on saying it. Turn Becky face. It's all you have to do. Because here, probably more than any other segment that she's done, this pretty much solidified Becky as a heel. And just, I don't even know what to say at this point. It is amazing, not only how bad they are at reading their audience, but how stubborn they are as well. WWE, it's been 2 months. She's still getting cheered. They're not going to. They're not going to turn her. They're not going to turn on her. They're not going to boo her anytime soon. It's time to just accept the fact that she's a face. She is a face. People want to cheer her. You've done this before. You have tried to turn a face heel, and you had to do it, and you had to turn them back face in 2 months because it didn't work. You did it with Eddie Guerrero in 2003. You can do the same here, I'm sure. WWE, I will give you credit on this. Okay, I will give you credit. You tried to do something different. You tried to do something new. I applaud you for that. But sometimes, just sometimes, you just have to accept the fact that some things do not work. And just because you do something new and different doesn't make it good. You learned that with Jinder Mahal's title run, and you're learning the same thing here. People want to cheer Becky Lynch, so let them cheer her. I am not saying you have to go all the way back to square one and make her the smiling, happy face that she was there. She was when she first got to the main roster. What I am saying is you can have her keep that attitude and still have her be a face. Because with this, I can at least tolerate the edginess that they gave her at first. But ever since Super Showdown, they just gave up. They just gave up on trying to make her a tweener or anything like that. They're just trying to make her a heel, really just to spite the fans. It really is just a screw you to the fans. And what's going to make this even more frustrating is that the more they try to force this square peg into a round hole, the more the fans are going to push back against it. And let me tell you, it's going to get uglier before it gets better. So, final thoughts on this? Just turn her face, WWE. Just call a spade and turn her face already and turn Charlotte heel. That's what needs to happen. That's all.
This is why Matt always goes first on Becky segments.
I am going to say that the still cheering Becky is the whole point.
I think that's what they're going to try to say. Like, they're going to try and say that, oh, this was the plan all. No, it wasn't. It really wasn't.
Not that it was the plan all along. Is that they have stumbled into a character that works.
Oh yeah, it was by complete accident. It was by complete accident.
They did not think that the fans would stay cheering, but the fact they have makes this character work. They're not cheering Becky because she's doing dastardly things. They're cheering her because she's right. And she hasn't stopped being right. This is a heel. This isn't a heel in the traditional sense. And why I think the heel turn needs to keep going until, at the very least, WrestleMania. Because we are seeing a slow turn of Becky. This is working because Becky Lynch is making it work. Because she has found a character that is letting her have a lot of leeway. This isn't a heel that turned because she's been wronged. No, let me rephrase that.
I was about to say.
This is a heel that didn't turn just because something didn't go her way and she's upset and wants to retaliate. This is a heel that turned because she feels wronged. And not just wronged, but wronged, so wronged that everyone can see it. And because everyone could see it, the fans stuck with her. This is how it's supposed to be. They may have stumbled back assward into it, but this is great. It's great television. It's letting Charlotte play a role that may be a little frustrating, but I'm not hearing any complaints out of Charlotte in this feud. No one is complaining about her work. Becky is making this whole thing work. And I fear if you turn her face too soon, you kill all this fire. Because she is cutting fire promos, having hellacious matches, and I don't want to fuck with that. Because the second you do, you lose money, and you lose eyeballs, and you lose attention. You can't afford that.
Well, again, like I'm saying, I'm not saying just go back to square one with her and turn her completely face, but you can still have her keep this attitude, but still have her be a face.
But it doesn't work as a face.
I'll say what nobody else will say. Charlotte's the problem here.
They need to turn her heel. They really need to turn her heel.
Then have her turn heel against someone less beloved. I'm sorry. That's
Charlotte's beloved.
Yeah, I'm saying have her to work with someone who isn't on Becky's status. And then, because if the WWE's goal here is to have a full-fledged heel turn for Becky, it isn't going to come against Charlotte. So you have to move Charlotte out. And so you did need to put someone in. If this was happening against Naomi, if this was happening against Asuka, the fans would have turned already. But it's happening against someone so polarizing that you have to remove that figure from the equation.
Yeah, that's why I'm hoping Evolution is the end. I'm hoping Becky retains and moves on to. Okay. Go ahead.
Let Becky retain and have her move on to Naomi. Naomi, that's perfect. Because there you're going to end up getting the results you want. Because you take the catalyst away from the character.
I don't know. I really don't know. Because I really don't think Naomi is as over as people say that she is.
You're gonna have.
I would argue. I would argue it's only her entrance that's over, and even then, I would question it.
There's not. In my opinion, and of course, my opinion is my opinion. The only person she could face or do something drastically to on SmackDown at the moment is like maybe Paige to get like true heel heat. She obviously isn't getting it from Charlotte. I don't even think she'll get it from Naomi. Just based on like there's a segment of people that Naomi Botch, hashtag Naomi Botch. Like there's not that true.
Okay, then let me say Asuka.
And that's also just to be blunt, what the fuck is an Asuka? Is she
true?
Is she face? Is she badass? What is an Asuka anymore?
She's just lost at this point, and this is precisely the reason why they shouldn't have turned Becky face or turn her heel, because she was the only credible slash likable face on SmackDown. There was nobody else. Asuka was a tweener. Charlotte and Naomi really aren't that over as faces, and everybody else is a heel. There was just nobody else to really take that spot.
You want Becky, this is what they need to understand. If you want Becky to work as a traditional heel, you have to remove Charlotte from the equation.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
If you
But
don't want
Asuka's
that,
not the answer, and I don't think Naomi is either.
maybe
It would take somebody like Bailey coming over to SmackDown. Somebody
what if
like
they could still do that.
it would take, because contrary to belief, Asuka's not really looked at as a the purest of babyface.
Yeah, she's
Bailey
more or less
still
a
is.
tweener, really.
Well, but I think it's going to be easier to heat up a Naomi or an Asuka than it will be to plug in someone else.
Yeah.
Maybe you turn. Everyone's loving Sonya Deville's work. Maybe you turn Sonya Deville babyface by having Becky just beat the unholy hell out of her backstage for no reason. But again,
I don't think that's how you turn Sonya face, though. I think that's just how you. I don't know. It's the most perplexing thing. And again, this is like, I agree with, like, oh, we stumbled upon something accidentally, but where do we go from here?
WWE, honestly, there's only two explanations here and two rationales. Either this is what they wanted to see happen, or they've stumbled into this and don't know where to go.
I'll take the letter on that for
it's the
$1 billion
latter.
fucking dollars, Alex.
And if it's the second, you're now in a predicament.
And they don't know how to dig themselves out of it. It's the same all day. All day,
How
every day.
do you walk away from this Becky character as it constitutes?
No.
Because you've booked yourself into a corner.
You don't walk away from it. You find the characters that work better with it.
If this Becky, like I said, the reason why this
I guess we lost Wing, by the way.
Yeah. If this is so fire, you almost have to wait until it cools down. I'm being serious. You have to almost wait till Becky starts, till the crowd starts popping a little less and a little less each time she comes out. And the only way you do that is if you just kill the program. I don't want to see. Let Becky have this run. Whatever this run is, just let her have it. She's earned it. And the fans are reacting to her in a way they haven't before. Even at her most popular. Hell, I'll argue this is her most popular. You don't mess with that for the sake of alignments. I'm sorry. You don't. Even if it's miscast. You don't fuck with lightning in a bottle. And that's what this is.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry. You know what? At the end of the day, I'm sorry. Alignments be damned.
Yeah. Alignments should be towards the bottom of the list of why things work.
Let Becky just go out there. I've been calling her Bad News Becky. Like, some people call her Stone Cold Becky Lynch. I've been calling her Bad News Becky. And not because of Bad News Barrett.
Sure.
But because of Bad News Brown. or for some other people, Bad News Allen.
Or Bad News Browns.
Oh,
You're a dick. You're a dick. Sam.
nice.
But Bad News Brown was this kind of character. He was a heel in all technicalities.
But people loved him.
But people liked him because he didn't adhere to the alignment. He would fight baby faces and he would fight heels.
He didn't give a shit. I remember seeing him live a few times. He just wanted to fight.
Right.
Like, and if you're the last kicker, fight.
Exactly.
Kick some last.
You don't have to. You don't have to be change a thing about Becky, and as she sits currently, she can still have this heel persona, but you can put her in positions to where she just wants to fight because she knows she's better than everyone else.
Yeah.
Treat her like Bad News Allen, and I guarantee you the money will keep flowing. You change her for the sake of alignment, you've lost everything.
Yeah, I don't think anybody wants to see her go back to like Matt said, like the smiling, like I'm just happy to be here, Becky.
What I'm saying is you can't even touch her.
Yeah.
You can't.
Right now it's perfect. You use the term lightning in a bottle. You have it right now. Freaking run with it. Right now. Keep it the same. Run with it. Like I'm just here to kick ass and chew bubble gum. I'm all out of bubble gum.
Roddy Piper from They Live. That's who she is.
Yeah, like just
anything less is a detriment to the character. So I know you're anxious to see her be a babyface again, Matt, and I can understand why. But I'm not touching this character, not with a 10-foot pole. And if that means Charlotte has to play the babyface for a little while longer, so be it. She's not totally out of place in the world. It's just that no one wants to hear what she has to say.
Oh, dear God.
I just don't think Charlotte is very good as a face. Like,
oh, she's horrible.
Honestly, just when you hear some of the promos that she's been cutting, I feel like it's just the delivery of it. Like what she's saying is fine, but the way that she delivers the lines, it almost was like condescending in a way.
She is not a good live promo.
At all. Like all.
Her best stuff has always been scripted and pre-taped.
That and there's not much to her as a face. Like she's basically Ric Flair Jr. Like she is,
and that's who she is. Period.
Yeah,
heel
right.
Or babyface. My problem.
I'm gonna go ahead and say it, and fuck it if I get heat. I'll whatever. But it is like, and I know he had David and Reed. Rest in peace, Reed. It is like Ric Flair Jr. Just in a female body, but with not even close to the
promo ability,
the talent he had in the ring and on a promo.
I will say this: I think she is more athletic than he ever thought about being, but she's regressed in the ring. The promo was never really there, and they have miscast her as Ric Flair Jr. She's miscast. Charlotte Flair and Ashley are two different entities entirely.
Ashley Flair and Charlotte Flair, you have to distinguish the two. Ashley is a good person, I think, from what I've seen. Is Charlotte Flair the character?
My my point is, when Charlotte works babyface, she has to be allowed to be more like Ashley.
Yeah, I could see that.
When she works heel, then she can turn up some of the
The
Ric
Rick
Flair
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah.
But she can't be Ric Flair Jr. in the babyface.
You can't be. It takes a truly once in a generation or so talent to strut and woo the crowd as a babyface. And Rick only, did that a handful of times. But by
Rick
then he already had this following.
Rick already had the crowd.
Yeah, like it was like, oh shoot, like okay, we accept this. Like Rick's a face. Like okay,
Rick,
you can't.
when Rick was a
One
heel,
of the
it was
things that needs to change with Charlotte, like it's a very minute thing, but her theme song, she's literally coming out to Rick's theme song.
just a remix.
Yeah, like change, like start there or something.
I would love for her to be put into an angle where she literally just came out and wrestled in jeans and a t-shirt. And I'm being serious.
Yeah,
Strip away the robe, the attire, the mannerisms. Have her come out. Book her in a street fight with Becky Lynch.
put her in like Dean Ambrose gear from a couple years ago with the white tank top and
Well,
just
maybe not a white tank top.
well, you know what I mean, like a shirt and blue jeans, boots,
Have,
and just
have her tape her fists
yeah,
and go out there for a match, a fight. Because the Rick stuff is a crutch. And
and I don't think they'll ever let that go. Sadly,
it's
and
like I said before, and I said it just a second ago. She has to be allowed. If she brought more of herself to her character, it would work as a babyface. But she
the biggest thing
doesn't.
she does as Ashley is that somersault before she gets in the ring.
Yeah,
That's the Ashley that and the splits or whatever getting into like that's actually then like it's watching a Ric Flair with things Ric Flair doesn't have basically like that's
yeah. It's and like I said, and if you also want to make this work, just turn Charlotte into somebody like, you know what? I don't care.
yeah.
Let's have Charlotte come out. And as if we're going to run with Charlotte and Becky for a while, and we can get off this after this, have Charlotte come out and say, you know why I'm so upset? It isn't because you attacked me. It isn't because you took my belt. It's because I thought our friendship was bigger than the business. I've won championships. You've won championships. There's nothing we literally haven't done. So I thought I could count on you as a friend and not stab me in the back, just like my dad and Arn. For as great as Arn Anderson was, it really only wasn't until late in his career that he and Rick had a match. And you could almost play that up to the because they had the titles, they had the money, they had the fame. There was nothing to fight over. You could bring that to Charlotte and Becky, and it could work.
Just something to improve.
Right, and Charlotte could come back and say, "You did this to me because I'm upset because I thought we were above that,
Yeah,
but since we're not, let's fight, and I'll prove to you I'm exactly as good as I think I am." And Becky can say the exact same thing,
right.
and it will work as a babyface promo, and it will work as a heel promo, and it will work as a money feud. But that's not what we're getting.
No, and you know better than to expect that kind of stuff in the future.
Yeah, I know, and I'm already upset.
Yeah,
All right, Matt. After this fire segment, it was actually a pretty fire segment with the beatdown and the Becky saying, I don't like myself. I love myself. It was a fire segment, pun intended.
I hope you break your neck on the way out of the ring.
Ow. All right, Matt. So after all this hot fire went down, what happened?
Next up was the Bar versus the New Day for the titles, and the Bar ended up winning the titles with help from a Big Show heel turn for the 1,700 time.
Well, has it only been 1,700?
It's
Surely there's
probably been more
more.
than that.
That's
Man,
the
I am so sick and tired of the Bar, both as champions and both in the title scene. I am so sick of them as a tag team. Get them out of the title scene as soon as possible because I can no longer stand them.
This was utter trash segment for me.
Yeah.
Like it was.
There was no need for the Big Show. There was no need for a Big Show turn.
There was no
Uh,
need for a title change. Either. It felt like they just did a title change just to do it on a big show like this.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it was Des Moines. I think it was Des Moines that brought up the point of, well, what's SmackDown 1000 without another fucking Big Show turn?
At least this
Like,
time they didn't have him justify it. He just shrugged and said, well, close I can. Fine. That's perfect. Um, the Bar, they worked great together. I'm still wondering, is the clock ticking on Sheamus or no? Because the last I heard, he had that spinal stenosis, and here he is still working.
he still has that, and I think that's a running thing of biding time and letting him go as long as he can. And I get all of that, and like I'm sorry he's going through that. I appreciate them trying to extend his
Prolong his career.
as possible, but at the same time, them being in the championship picture or championship holders, like they could be like gatekeepers kind of thing. Like the Usos had a meaningless match in this same show.
I'm just confused and
Well, you're a Browns fan.
God damn it.
We expect that.
Sure. My whole reaction to this segment is sure, fine. I don't expect them to have the titles all that long.
And to be honest, on the flip side of that coin, is I'm also tired of New Day having the championship.
Yes, I agree.
Like
I don't really mind them having the titles because they at
It
least
is
add some new things to their gimmick every now and then, so at least feels fresher than the Bar. The Bar, they're still the same freaking team they've always been.
Yeah.
It's just that they wear skirts
One
now.
positive of the New Day is like it could be any two of the three. No, that you could get different matchups, but
It
it's
is
like the tag division in both Raw and SmackDown are just as
trash.
high as I was on it just a month ago or so. Like
Yeah.
it's just on both sides, Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah,
Like
like
what the
at least New Day have done some different things. Like they've added pancakes and stuff like that to their gimmick. The only change that the bar has done is that they wear kilts now and matching jackets and kilts. That's it. That's the only change that they've done. If it were up to me, I would have Sanity be tag team champions, have New Day feud with them.
It's
a question I had for you because I was back and forth. Um, were the Iconics even on this SmackDown episode?
No, no, they weren't.
I,
And how can you have a 1,000 episode celebration of SmackDown without the Iconics? Come on, WWE. Come on.
didn't mean to start a whole tangent, but I didn't think they were. But internet problems and closing and
seems pretty easy
reopening.
to me to not have the Iconics on. You actually have to do something to be on the 1,000th episode.
See, this is why you
Again, I hope
Matt. He's
Browns
paying you
lose.
back for the Browns burns.
You have to be relevant to be on a history episode.
Now
They
I
beat-
want
they
now
beat-
no.
They beat the longest
Hold on,
winning-
real quick. Now Purdue. Nobody from Purdue's listening, but please, 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 please beat Ohio State, please.
I hope you step on a Lego. It's time for the New Day to do their singles run. I'm sorry.
I will agree with that. I will agree with
Yes,
that.
but
Don't have them
They
break
can do
up
that without breaking them up.
Yeah,
I
that's
agree.
what
I agree. Don't break them up.
but just have them kind of branch out on their own.
It's
Yes.
time.
Start with Big E.
That man has been dying for. He needs to be in the heavyweight title picture.
If nothing else, like a US. Like,
Yes.
Baby step this. The good days of I'm say it, the good days of John Cena. The
Yeah.
US challenge on Raw. Like have him win that, and so we have one single champion. Okay, so but don't freebird it. Just like Big E's there's one of the most aggravating things is that they haven't let the New Day don't break them up, just branch out.
Go be single stars for a little while. Because you can come back to the New Day.
Yeah. Like, don't you're doing it with the Shield.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We can move on from this technically. I think we've talked about it because Bar of Champions again. It's probably not going to be long. Show turned heel. Tune in next Tuesday. What happened next?
He'll turn face next. He'll be on Monday as a face.
Probably. Was the main event next, Matt, or was it the Taker promo?
Yeah, it was the main event that was next. It was Rey Mysterio versus Shinsuke Nakamura, with Rey Mysterio winning the match. And I think it's at this point that I need to remind people that Shinsuke Nakamura is indeed the United States champion. I know that's easy
because everybody forgot.
And welcome back, Ray.
Yeah, I will say this: Mysterio looked better than he has been.
Thank God for mysterious Mexican doctors and a lenient drug policy. Because that's why Ray's back. He got his knees worked on, and they are probably letting him on the juice.
Yeah, but you see, Adam, he's had 5 surgeries on his left knee.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I get it. Yeah, and you know what? Uh, it was the 5 surgeries were performed by Doctor Nick from The Simpsons. Uh,
Damn,
if you get that reference,
I got it.
it, good to see Ray though. I'm shocked he's back as a full timer.
Same here.
I thought he was going to take that part time money.
And I think it's more full time, like Rhonda's full time kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
He's not going to be, 300 days a year, 280, whatever it is now.
With Ray coming back, let me ask you guys: do you want to see him have another title run of any sort, or do you just want him to be the returning legend?
Are we talking about the main title?
Any title.
Maybe a United States title, like Jeff Hardy's run a few months back. I don't know if I'd go so far as to put the W title on him again,
Yeah,
but I would put a mid card title on him.
yeah. That's why I clarified, because maybe, and since he's on SmackDown, apparently, maybe the US, not a WWE championship.
I was in it to ask: do you want to see Ray with another cruiserweight title run? Because there were some matches he could have on 205 Live if they let him play down there. That could be fire.
Um,
I would have him do a
honestly,
few matches with the cruiserweights on 205 Live, but I wouldn't put the title on him.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
right now, I'm just still on a high of Buddy Murphy being the
Yeah,
cruiserweight champion.
yeah.
But if we're if they're gonna do the 205 Live thing with Ray, I wouldn't really mind him holding it for just a bit, like not a long reign, but just a
Have him
little.
be a transitional title holder.
Yeah,
I'll tell you right now, I'm having thoughts of Rey Mysterio and Buddy Murphy and Rey Mysterio versus Cedric Alexander and
right. And
Drew
this is no
Gulak.
offense to a true, because he is a legend, but he honestly would fit so much better if he wants to work. And in fact, he would work a lesser schedule.
On
He would
205
fit
Live.
so, yeah, he would fit in perfectly. And that's not pigeonholing him or thinking
Anything.
less of him, but damn, like you say, the matches they could put on.
This was actually a good, for what many would consider a dream match, Mysterio versus Nakamura. It was okay. I don't think it'd live up to their billing, but it was an okay match.
I've soured so much on Nakamura literally in the last 6 months.
It's because,
Yeah,
dude, he's coasting.
well,
Plus, I think
he phoned it in New Japan, but
we are clearly not getting the Nakamura from Wrestle Kingdom 9 when he had that match with Ibushi.
yeah, him, because he brought it, but even in New Japan, most of his matches,
His
or
foot's off
at
the
least
gas.
some, he phoned it in at WK9 against Ibushi. He brought it, and that's, I see the gripe of when people compare him to Randy Orton. Like when Randy Orton brings it, he freaking brings it. I'm a Randy Orton fan, so I always see he brings it side.
Nakamura, well, it's twofold. His foot's off the gas, and he's starting to feel the rigors of a
Yes.
WWE workload.
Nakamura's not getting any younger.
Nope. And he's working a 300 years a day a year schedule.
Well,
That
that
ain't
and
gonna last.
and his booking hasn't really been the greatest either.
No, it hasn't. But didn't you hear that's because Vince hates Asian people? Shoot me. Okay. Well, that leaves us with the final segment of the night, which we all know what it was.
It was Undertaker telling DX to rest in peace. It was literally the same promo that he did on Raw the previous night.
Yeah, that was the dumbest fucking shit. I'm sorry,
But they had to get his entrance in, Mox.
that was so. And once the match started with Knock, like, well, they promised Taker, like, oh, well, this match is going to be short because I think at that time they had 8 minutes to go. This is going to be a short match, and because we still have to see Taker, they promised us Taker. And I'll be, what the?
Yeah.
And like you say, literally what he and Kane did the night before. We have 3 words for you. Rest in peace. That was the...
It was because they wanted to get the entrance on the 1000th episode. That's what it was.
That's exactly what it was. But still, good grief.
There was a better way to use the Undertaker if that's what they wanted to do. There was a lot better ways to end the show.
Yeah. And see, that's where there might be a slight problem with on Tuesdays with SmackDown having the hard end. Like they have to end at 9. They can't go over. Because
They would have been better served putting the tag match from earlier in the main event slot. Because that's a main event match. Bryan and Styles versus the Usos.
And what I was holding out some hope of, I say hope, when you watch, sometimes you don't have hope, but once I saw the time and when he came out, like, okay, maybe there's a chance. But do you remember when Taker made his return? Shit, what was it? 4 years ago, 6 years ago, and Triple H interrupted him on his return. Thought maybe Triple H would interrupt, like right when Taker got to talking or put the microphone to his mouth. Like, it's time to play the game. Like, we know Triple H was there because he was just in the show earlier.
It doesn't matter. It was a throwaway promo for a throwaway show that's coming up on an 1000th episode that I did not look. If we're comparing Raw 1000 to SmackDown 1000, Raw 1000 kicks SmackDown 1000's ass down the block.
Oh yeah,
really?
Now, if you want to compare SmackDown 1000 versus Raw 25th anniversary, we might have a discussion. But 1000 versus 1000, Raw 1000 just knocked it out of the park.
Because Raw 1000.
Honestly, I would rather watch SmackDown 1000 over Raw 1000. I really would.
SmackDown 1000 had Becky.
Well, yeah, I mean, she makes everything better.
That's the answer. One had Becky and one didn't. And one small.
Just curious, what was wrong? What was wrong with Raw 1000?
Because I own Raw 1000 on DVD. I might have to watch it again, but I remember it not being very good. At least not as good as I remember it being, but I could be wrong.
They had that opening DX promo, which was fun. They had the end of the Heath Slater Legends Challenge, where he challenged Lita to. Lita came out and challenged him to the street fight and brought back the APA. What else happened on that show?
Cena versus Punk with Punk turning heel.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, that
AJ
was.
Lee and wedding.
Oh yeah, that. I will say real quick about SmackDown 1000. And I know this is a nitpick. I wish they would have found a way to make peace or whatever they needed to do to get Chavo Guerrero on the show.
Yeah.
Chavo played as much of a role on making SmackDown what it was during that Ruthless Aggression era, the SmackDown 6.
I taught my son. I taught Morris last night. He vaguely knew, but the entire watching last night, I kept bringing up, the SmackDown 6, and when Daddy what's the SmackDown 6? What's the? And so I went in depth of what the SmackDown 6 were.
And people always say Eddie, but it's like, no, the SmackDown 6 included Los Guerreros.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
because I think that Chavo is working in Lucha Underground behind the scenes, and I know that he was involved in that concussion lawsuit. So I can't imagine them being on the best of terms at the moment.
they should have found a way. I understand,
I,
and I
I, totally,
understand.
I totally agree.
But, and I understand Vicky was there, but not in the aspect that we all wanted. It still hurts not having Eddie around.
Yeah.
It's
I
over.
think I honestly watching it live. I think and I'm old,
You know,
and so usually when I'm watching shows, like I'm telling other people to like shh, trying to hear because I can't hear for shit. But Morris kept, and so I explained he already knew to some degree about Eddie and dying, and then had to in a very PG way talk about Chris Benoit, and then brought up Chavo, and Morris knows Chavo from Lucha Underground.
it just feels like a hole that's never going to be filled.
Yeah.
But for one night, I would have liked to see the WWE go out of their way to have a moment, a real genuine moment.
They.
Could you imagine? And just close your eyes. Could you imagine the pop when Los Guerreros music hit and Chavo comes out in the lowrider? The place you would have had to literally pick the roof off the ground because people would be losing their shit. But it didn't happen, and I understand why it didn't happen. It just Eddie's presence was felt, his lack of presence, I should say. And I just wanted to see them. I know they showed him. I know he was in a video package, right?
He was in a couple of them.
That was the time to set aside something for Eddie. But I get it. I get it. I get it.
I get completely why Benoit was not mentioned, but a little something more could have been done for Eddie. I think they on their like when they would come back from commercial and they would show the past stuff. I think they showed them 3 times, 4 times, whatever it was. They at least recognized, but like you, like could have been better.
I would have liked to have seen them at least bring out the lowrider.
Yeah.
Have
If
it
nothing else, just have the. It doesn't even have to have Chavo in it. Just a lowrider on a
sitting out
stage by
there.
the stage. Just
That would have been cool. And with that, that ends our SmackDown recap. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is where I have to depart. I have to be
No.
awoken in the Wow, so that's what it sounds like when it's not typed. All right.
oh, it sounds worse. Matt saying no and his no typing is no.
It's like Vader at the end of one of the movies.
Yes.
But I've had fun tonight, guys. I will make this quick. If you guys, if anybody wants to contact me out there on the Twitter sphere, yeah, I'm at PWFan01. I have a giant Ohio State logo as my avatar. You guys come talk to me about anything. I'm also over at Cage Side Seats. I try to be most days. You'll catch me there more often, though, on the weekends. And like I said,
Please,
I'm glad to come in and play a reliever for you guys.
and please send any hate mail to his Twitter account and not us because it's all him. It's
Yeah,
always Adam.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
always Rice.
You can kiss the fattest part of my ass.
Whoa.
Yeah, yeah, I said it.
Thanks for being on, man. Really
No,
appreciate it. I know we went longer than what I said when I asked you to be on, but
yeah, it's because I have a big mouth. I know. Uh,
well,
yeah,
it is fault.
yeah.
Thanks for being
Uh,
on. Sorry for arguing with
no,
you.
no problem. But that makes it fun. I'll see you guys later and enjoy the rest of the show, everyone. I'm out.
Go
All right.
Browns.
Thanks for being on.
No problem. Bye.
So what happened on? You want to go right to MOW?
I'll touch on MOW very briefly. Rich Swann and Teddy Hart had a really good main event, actually. Like, they had a really good match. And then Brian Pillman Jr. also had his debut singles match in MOW, and that was pretty solid. And
I
Jimmy,
can't believe the Teddy Hart like last week's Total Divas. They just put him as Ted and underneath put Natty's friend.
did he cut a forced work shoot?
Well, I don't know. I don't watch the show per se, but
You're a good lad. You're a good lad.
I try to be. But that was funny. They just call him Ted, and his description was Natty's friend. Come on, man, that's Teddy Hart. Who won the Teddy Hart match? I can't remember.
Teddy Hart.
Of course.
And then Jimmy Uta defeated El Hijo de LA Park.
On paper, that match sounds really good to watch. How was it?
It was pretty good. It was pretty good. Yeah, all the matches on the show were pretty good for the most part. And next week is going to be interesting. Or this week, actually. This week, because this week they begin the Fury Road portion of the tapings that they did a few weeks back. It's going to be this week. It's going to be Shane Strickland versus Filthy Tom Lawler.
That filthy son of a bitch.
And then next week, they're going to be doing a Halloween special. Because next week is going to be PCO taking on LA Park. And then Sammy Callahan versus Jimmy Havoc in the spin the wheel, make the deal match.
Nothing could ever go wrong with spin the wheel, make the deal matches. Like nothing ever.
Spin the wheel, make the deal. Spin the wheel, make the deal.
I get like what just not a big fan of the even when they do it like it's been done before, but even when Lucha Underground does the wheel spin stuff, like not really my up my alley. I mean, I'm gonna watch the show. Don't get me wrong. Just
Yeah, so that's all in MOW news.
is the Halloween special, is that pre-taped or is that going to be live?
I think it's pre-taped because it was part of the Fury Road taping that they did a few weeks back.
Okay, I wasn't
Because
sure.
Fury Road, because Fury Road is basically like their October big event, like War Games was back in September.
Right. I know that they, if ever they don't do anything live, I just wasn't sure if it had been. I haven't seen anything about it, so I'll say spoiler free and just watch it when it airs. And I think the same weekend AA is going to be at the Rocky Mountain Pro Halloween event.
Shocktober.
Shocktober. I can't remember if it's October 25th or October 26th. But that's coming up for Rocky Mountain. And of course, AA has tickets. She'll be there front and center. Overall, just to go back for a second with Raw and SmackDown. And it's been this way for a few weeks or a couple weeks, like some good, some bad, and just SmackDown beat Raw in the ratings this week by a slim margin. I think 2.4 million for Raw versus 2.5 million for SmackDown. I wasn't gonna miss SmackDown 1000. Usually, I wait and see since I have to go through USA Network. But I wasn't gonna miss watching SmackDown 1000 live. Excuse me. Raw was, in my opinion, pretty bad. SmackDown started great, and then
The second half of SmackDown 1000 sucked. It did. I'm sorry, but it did.
well, it started okay.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it was good in the first half, but it went downhill so fast after that cutting edge segment.
Yeah, like after that, it went just. Not sure exactly what happened, but damn, it just got like you're gonna hit your pinnacle this soon.
What happened? But I already ran on that one, so
It just wasn't. And to be honest, I was kind of expecting more,
Oh, it's the same here. To be honest, same here.
and it
It did feel rushed a little bit. I wish they would have been able to add 10 more minutes to it, maybe. I mean, I don't think anybody's really going to care about that crappy Purge show preempted, but it's different time. Different story for another day, I guess.
is that what is airing after
Yeah,
SmackDown now is
is that Purge TV show?
yeah. Do you watch that or
I tried. I couldn't do it because I hate the movies. I really do. I hate the movies. Can't stand them. Tried a bit of the show. Couldn't do it. Just, I don't know. It just doesn't work for me.
the show's worse than the movies? Because I kind of to a little bit just because it was something different. Like I liked the first one. For when I say like, I mean we're talking still. Like when you say like, is it more than 50% or less?
Right.
We're like at about a 55%. Like it,
I
but
wasn't a fan of the first one because everyone in the movie is so freaking stupid.
it's a good concept. It just
Yeah,
didn't translate into the screenplay.
like it has potential, but it never really lives up to it. Plus, it feels like they really think that that concept is more clever than it actually is. I think.
Yeah, and it's I don't word good. It's just not my thing. Like it could have been again from the first, like ooh, and then just like SmackDown 1000, like uh, you've been playing. The rumor mill has it that you've been playing 2K19.
Indeed, I have.
How are you liking it so far?
I think it's really good. Best W game since 2K16. I think it feels like they really tried to make the game fun again. They had big head mode, and they've had like a lot of modes, like tower modes, which is basically like a gauntlet style thing where you can compete against several superstars in the gauntlet matches. They had showcase mode with Daniel Bryan, my career mode, which actually has an actual story to it here. It's just a really fun game.
So, would you, as a not first time buyer, but like I gave 2000 or 2K18 a chance and didn't really meet my expectations. Would I buy 2K19?
I would recommend it.
It's not just like a rehash of what they've been doing since 16.
I don't think so because my career is different. They had showcase mode for Daniel Bryan, and that's a bit different as well. Um, Towers mode is pretty neat and serves as a bit of a challenge. The roster I think is bigger, and so it has a lot of things going for it. I think.
I'm tempted to buy it just for the big head mode.
Yeah, now they put fatal 5-way matches in the game as well as like fatal 4-way tag team matches.
Oh shoot. Okay. You piqued my interest.
Yeah, because today I was doing like a ladder match. It was Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks versus the Iconics versus the Riot Squad versus who was it? Who was their team? Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville.
And you couldn't have done that before.
Oh no, this is a brand new this year.
Yeah. Like that. Okay,
Same with Fatal Five Ways.
that's what. Yeah, either one of those, you can have done a fatal five way. Ooh, that'd be fun.
It is.
Okay, do I have to ask who in the tag match you played as?
Who do you think I played as?
The Iconics.
No, I didn't play as them. I played as Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks.
Oh, well, yeah, that's my fault. Whenever, hey, Becky and Bailey both start with B, and I thought Bailey, Sasha. Oh, but yeah, if Becky's in there, you're playing as Becky.
Yeah.
How hard are the modes? Because they used to be. I'm seeing so
Show.
many different things on social media of how, like, the majority like really love it like you do. Like it's the best ever. It's the best since this one, and then some people just don't like it. What are your thoughts?
Um, it depends on what mode you're playing. My career and my career is relatively easy. Showcase mode has some challenges, but they're not too terribly difficult. Towers mode, it depends on which one you play. Some of them are easy, some are normal, hard, legend. It depends on which one you're playing as, and they'll even say like in the corner what difficulty it is.
Oh,
And they've also done some different things with steel cage and hell in a cell. Like you can break the cell like you did in Day of Reckoning. You don't need to have a finisher in order to do it. You can just throw them into the cell and it'll break. With cage matches, you can actually fight on top of the cage. You can exit through the cage door. They've done like little things, little different things here and there.
do you, do they still give you the mini game stuff to like break holds?
Yeah, like just so like press X Y B A or whatever it is, like or you can do the UFC game kind of thing. The submission you can choose in the options which one you want to do, where the mash the buttons or the slide thing.
That was my one of my biggest gripes from 2K18 was getting that daggum ball in the circle.
Yeah, that's still in here as well, but I actually find that to be easy, to be honest, in the ladder
Well,
match.
once you're more of a gamer than I,
True, true.
but once you get it, like okay, I understand it, but it's still to me hard as crap. Frustrating as all get out. Like I'm not going to end this way. No. And you play on Xbox?
Yeah, only Xbox One.
Excuse me. Cool. I guess I'll seek it out for PlayStation 4.
Yeah, like I would say if there's like a Black Friday sale or anything like that, I would definitely say get it.
Yeah, that's you read my mind. Like if I can get it on sale, I'll after I said like, oh, no more 2K stuff for a while. Like from on air and off air, like nah, I'll give 2K19 a shot. For one, I want to see what the My Towers mode is about, and you and SK have both brought up the career mode. Like it's different than what it's been.
Yeah, because there's an actual story mode here. Like you
Yeah,
play in the indies to begin career mode.
How far along are you on that?
Oh, I beat it. Oh, I beat the career mode.
You've already dang.
Yeah, there's about 14 chapters in it, and like there's bonus arenas that you can unlock, like the white compound. You can actually play as like a backstage brawl in exhibition mode, and then you also got like an arena in Mexico, a couple of high school gyms. You can even play in the Tokyo Dome, but they don't actually call it the Tokyo Dome. They just call it the Japan Dome or whatever, like the Dome Japan. And there's also a Japan Hall, stuff like that.
Melter gives that 7 stars.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to. I'll wait for because it didn't just come out, but it's still new enough where it's going to be
Right.
pricey. I'll
Right.
wait to see if I can, like you say, a Friday sale. Um, and who are the biggest names left off of this one?
Tommaso Ciampa and Nikki Cross were left off. Mick Foley got left off. I don't know why, but
Mick Foley's not on there at all.
no, not at all. No, it's Cactus Jack. No, it's Dude Love. No, it's Mankind. Nobody.
I kind of get based on things I read, the Ciampa and Nikki Cross stuff, contractually. But dang, I thought Mick would be on there in some form or fashion.
Same here.
Who's your favorite character to play so far?
So far, maybe Becky. Ruby Riot is fun to play as. The Iconics. And people like that.
I would expect no less from you. Last question. What's your I don't know how I know word good. What's your biggest like, oh, you can do that now that you couldn't do before kind of thing, like in ring stuff?
Probably the Fatal 4-Way Tag Match. That's actually a really fun one.
Cause used to they just have the tornado
Right.
stuff, and yeah. Can you tag like your opponents, just like in a true Fatal 4-Way tag?
I think you can. I think I've only played Tornado Rolls so far, but I think you can. I can check after this and see.
Come on, researcher. Well, in a true Fatal, 4-Way tag match, like anybody can tag anybody. It's interesting how some of that would come about. But with that, unless you had any final thoughts of the week,
No, I think that's about it.
please tell me you have the list of shoutouts.
Um, I I can try and do it off the top of my head. Shooting the Breeze every Saturday morning with Taker's Minion and Mr. Dr. Sinju every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central. Connoisseurs of Wrestling every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central with Taker's Minion, George Estaves, Legends Lovers, and Biff Kensington. Grounds for Development every Thursday morning with Five, the Saskatchewan Spin and Nerve and Biff Kensington, where they talk about NXT and 205 Live. Fizzy's Wacky World of Wrestling.
Let's not forget Ruthless Aggression Era podcast.
Yeah,
Friday nights.
Yeah, Ruthless Aggression podcast every Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. And this week we're going to be talking about No Way Out 2004. And my guest will be a guest that you heard today earlier on in the show, One Winged Angel.
I always get the bad stuff.
You're getting the 2004 draft.
I know. You throw me a bone with some meat on it. I'll take it.
Plus, you got WrestleMania 19, so that hasn't been too bad.
That was a year ago. Yeah, you're. I always give you a hard time just because there's a lot of crap you put me through, but it's a fun podcast if you can't tell. Like,
Yep.
Matt's a fun person to be around. And especially when you're talking about ruthless aggression and Matt gets into it, like it's fun podcast to listen to, just to go through some memories and bad albums or what have you. Where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at MiddleMat15, and I'm also on K-Side Seats, hang out in the daily and the nightly, as well as SmackDown and NXT threads. And in the nightly, we're continuing our Black Sabbath / Ozzy albums. Tonight, we started looking at the Ozzy solo albums. Blizzard of Oz was tonight, and tomorrow night is going to be on Mob Rules, the second Dio era Black Sabbath album.
D. I haven't looked yet, but I'm gonna look. You better have given me a shout out.
I did.
Okay. And of course, our missing host, AA. You can find her at Lady Rashana on Twitter. She's in the Case I Sees the Daily, occasionally nightly at Ambrose Alley. Miss you, love you. Hope you're having fun. You can find me at Fireman6809 on Twitter and the Daily. Prince Moxley Lopez. Other than that, don't find me. And for a future episode, excuse me, here in maybe a couple weeks, we're gonna do another Takeover Kids episode.
Awesome.
With Morris, Gavin, and Gabe. That would be my son and Five's two sons. We're gonna be doing that here in the next couple of weekends, probably another Friday special episode. You can hit us up on the overall thing, Twitter, Violent Wrestling Podcast with no G, and on Gmail, Violent Wrestling Podcast with a G at gmail.com. And with that, I think we're going to bid you guys to do. Becky's the baddest woman on the planet, just to throw that out there. And we're still live, but so we're just gonna sit here and just dead air too. See, this is what we need, AA. We are not punctual at all. So, yeah.